all day. So many tiny dwarves. Get that chat up. What up, guys? Test on 1, 2, 3. I'm coming in loud and clear. Haven't changed many settings since the last time we talked, so I'm hoping all is good. Tight. Killing time painting? Yeah, sometimes I get confused with part of the country I live on. Talk about the post up on Patreon. Speaking of which, Nightbot is gonna shit on you if you don't stop using caps. You're getting timed out, man. Yo, dog, Kenny Bichet here. Next Level Painting coming in hot on Tuesday. One of the best quickly growing days of the week. Got some new fresh layouts here. This is going to be the Q&A screen with me up in the center and the models little. And I'm going to be able to toggle between this and the models up front screen for when we're doing some Q&A sessions. Don't forget that obviously I'm going to still have the big major screen. I'm definitely not going to force you guys to watch the whole process real little. We're still going to have the big screen. But I'm just trying to pro the channel up a little bit, make it a little bit more baller. You know, do kind of what some of the other people are doing out there and take it to the next level, as it were. So obviously the new fresh layout is awesome. I worked on it the other day. Got the little chat bar there. Be able to interact with you guys. Now obviously, like I said, Ironheaded, the big screen is from we're painting models, and when we stop painting models and we start doing some Q&As in the in-between sections, we'll use a screen like this to clean it up. Between my beautiful face and the beautiful models, obviously right there. Scenes are dope. Saldoc, where you at, homie? Catch up on YouTube. I understand, brother. But while we're in the intro of the show, waiting for some people to show up. show you some of the things I'm working on. Taco Tuesday, brother. I love Taco Tuesday. Guys, remember way back in the day when Taco Bell used to run like a special on Sundays and Wednesdays? Like 29-cent tacos? Naka says, I tried the Space Wolf scheme you showed me. Didn't work out great. I think glazing in that style is not for me. What Space Wolf scheme did I show you? I'm not even... Have I painted Space Wolves on this thing? Are you talking about on my... on the videos on the YouTube channel? Alright, dog. Sadoc, see you later, homie. Miss you, bro. So I'm gonna show you guys. If you guys checked in during the all-day 8-hour stream on Sunday, we're obviously working on these dwarves. I want to show you how they came out on their little bases. We're using some of the GW technical gem effects on some of those gems on his beard art. Guy came out pretty baller. Like I said, took a little longer to put down these details than I think a normal day would take, just because we were having fun on the stream. Dreadnought checking in. What up, brother? I'll show you this other guy we worked on the 8-hour stream right here. Same deal. All those little beard. I want to say beard hair ties. All using the GW gem effect. You guys watch this. A little bit of fun, little fire effect on his little chimney there. His little coal brazier. He's standing on his own big rock as part of his base. We pinned him in. And right here, you can see these are cork pieces. I use some of that gangster cork tech that you can see on YouTube for next level pinning models. Because this big square is part of him. We glued it to the base. And then, of course, it wasn't flush. And then we just jammed up some cork under there. Do some sick dry brushing down. Bow. No, we didn't cover the Baesing of the dwarves on Sunday. But there is a video up right now on Patreon where I show you guys basically how in like one afternoon to paint all these runic mountain bases. And here's the first guy we started with. Absinthe checking in. What up, lady? Ironheaded. Naka's Dirty Sheets Mixed Skeets. Dreadnought 710. All some of my favorite people. We got Naka's Saldoc, who just stopped by to say hi. John Bingham, one of the OGs. He said, Taco Tuesday in full effect. Yo, that's beast of my heart. I wish I had some tacos in me. Inside me. In and around my mouth. Let me show you now. Let me show you like what we can do when we put our minds to it. So, getting these two models to this level, this was not an easy Sunday task. There's a lot of details on these guys, and we were semi-distracted by the stream. That's just how it goes, you know. It's no big deal. But when you can focus down in your own Beats Lab, you can do some more. You can do more, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So when you're focused down, you're able to channel. Oh, Saudak.
Burninating the countryside, burninating the peasants, burninating all
Love you, homie.
and the flags through Canada.
Dirty Sheets says he fell asleep and got drunk during that stream. Oh man, I feel you on that, homie. Saldoc, thank you for tuning in and throwing us some love, man. I love you, homie. So here's what I'm going to show you guys, though. So we obviously, like I said, we banged out these two guys. We worked all day. But this is what I've done just today. So yesterday, I got all these dwarves right here. I got all these guys. I used barbarian flesh. We highlighted them up with some sunny skin tones. We threw our washes in there like I showed you. And I did all of them. All 20 of the guys that Alan built. And right here on my desk, what I'm focusing on is about 10 of them. And so so I started painting around 1. Let me get that focus in there for you. I started painting around 1. Maybe 130. 130 seems more accurate. About 130, 140. And then I painted up until about 25 minutes ago. And on these 10 guys, I was able to get their silver laid out, their gold details, their leather details, their leather hand, all that basic stuff on these 10 guys. Working an assembly line right here. And then I'll show you what and I'll keep working on these guys. I only put a couple hours in, like obviously, just like 4 hours of work. Also I touched up their skin, so their skin would be fresh, and their little runes on their body and everything. Let me pull out one stop for you guys. So all the base work. So like I said, basically this guy is ready to be washed. You saw me work on 2 guys over the course of 8 hours with more, albeit more detail than this guy. It took me all day being distracted, kicking it in my Beats lab, having lunch, hanging out with my buddy. It took me all day to get 2 guys at this level. In just a few hours today, I got him to that level, and 9 of his buddies down here to just, a couple of details within this level. You know what I'm saying? So like that's where I crank the Audible up, listen to my audiobooks, get in my zone, get in my headspace. You know what I'm saying? That's where you really get your work done. When you're distracted, you're talking on the phone, doing Google Hangouts, the quality of work will always suffer, the speed will suffer. You gotta be inside your own head. And that's, of course, I will show you today what took me 8 hours to show you, and not even really show you on the stream very well, on the 8-hour stream on him. Like obviously, like I said, we're gonna get to this level hopefully today. I need to get a 3rd camera on the stream. Ironheaded asks, are dwarves more or less complex than space wolves? I would say, oh man, they're probably these berserkers that we're working on. Okay, these HQs, they're kind of a pain in the butt. The berserkers, the Volkite berserkers, whatever they're called, these guys, I would say a little easier than a space wolf. The only tricky part about this guy is the skin. Now, if you're one of those people who's like, damn, skin is hard, this might be a problem, because skin is, does require like a little bit different approach to making it look clean and good, and this is just a couple of some barbarian flesh with a quick sunny skin tone highlight with some of the new gloss wash. Then I reestablished the highlight with the airbrush. Then I came in and reestablished some of the shades with the glaze, and even came in with the highlight again with the paintbrush and just cut in some of the muscles the way I wanted. So once you get past the muscles, I mean, it's just about blocking in big, broad details. And none of these details are very small, so I would say it's not very difficult. Like a standard Space Wolf Wolfguard kit is a bitch. Warmonger says, what would add better content to my eye hole would be remove the black border and clutter around the screen. This isn't for our tutorial. I'll explain it again for anyone who's popping in. This is just while we're talking, while we're scoping out the episode. This lets the Q&A be more visible off on the right-hand panel. It lets me, when we're not talking about miniatures and we're just interacting, it lets me switch to like a scene like this where I'm just talking to you guys. This is not for the tutorial. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna make you watch this. When we actually paint, we're gonna be in the OG screen. We're gonna be doing this to get the details down. It's just that for replay on the internet, when I come back to YouTube and we're doing Q&As, I don't want everybody at home who watches YouTube to be just see me interacting with you guys and be like, I don't fucking know what the other side of that conversation is. But here, nice and clean off on the right hand side, they'll be able to see the Q&A. So there'll be a replay element to these videos that allow me to monetize them later on YouTube, so I can nickel and dime the YouTube audience for everything I can to direct them to places like this so we can have more fun and I can have enough money to keep painting and doing tutorials all day, every day. P.S. Thank you guys. It's okay, Warmonger. Everyone's tuning in at different times. This is just my new fresh shit right here. But also my favorite thing about this new screen is if anyone donates in this screen and to trigger a new GIF, it's way more well laid out. I have in fact added a new John Cena GIF, brand new. There's still some in there no one's triggered yet with sick new remixes on the music. I have changed all the priorities on the random element. Some of them are supposed to happen more frequently than others, and some of them are supposed to happen very rarely. So hopefully after the course of today and you guys' generosity, we'll be able to trigger some hilarious new shit. But anyway, guys, we'll jump right into it. Capitalism is the best, dirty sheets. It's the unfortunate nature of not even like of being an artist. Being an artist is hard because you gotta get paid. But all artists want to do is do art. So artists sometimes forget how business works, and they don't know how to they don't know how to monetize it. Because the thing is, you can do art all day, but you can't keep the lights on. I mean, that's the problem. So artists don't think that way. The internet has given us a very rare opportunity in the history of like artists in history. You know, like all mankind. It's given us the ability to potentially collect a little bit of dollar bills for doing artwork. But you got to give back. You can't just say, hey, watch me do artwork for a fucking hour. You got to be like, okay, here's some of the things that may elude people who aren't naturally born an artist. Let me show you a couple of my favorite techniques. Then an exchange can happen, a dialogue can happen, you know, and we can become each other's friends over time. Anyway, let me switch to the gangster view, the tutorial view, as it were, and let me show you what my plans are right here. So, like I said, we got the 10 guys I've been working on all day, and my plan is to have all 10 of these guys pretty much done today. And let me get our little guy in focus. As focused as I can get. Alright. You know, and I think I did find a way to flip this. Hold on a second. Can I do that right now? No, I can't. I did find a way where I can flip it all around, but the thing is like I can't see myself doing it on the screen. It'll be backwards. Alright. So first step here is this guy, like I said, he is wash ready. Now I don't want to be so blurry just yet. I want to see maybe it's gonna have to be a little blurry. We're gonna wash them. Okay. Good to go. Good to go all day. Okay. Ironheaded, remind us why you changed from flat rates to hourly rates on your commissions. When you flat rate a model, you're basically saying best case scenario in your mind, like how much it's worth. Like if you want to pay a tactical marine, you know, like I used to charge like $10 for a tactical marine. You're basically saying if I can't pay that tactical marine in, you know, an hour, like I'm getting less than $10 an hour. And then when you start trying to maintain quality, you know, like tactical marine takes more than an hour. So all of a sudden you're like, if you're charging $10 a tactical marine, you're making, you know, start sliding down from there. Then the next thing to do is you raise your prices. Okay, $15 a tactical marine. But you also, your quality goes up with that. So I had gotten to a place, you know, spitting out like an Emperor's Children 30k army, or I was charging $15 a tactical marine, and it was taking me 2 hours per tactical marine during the scope of the commission. You know, so last time I checked, paying the bills, you know, on $7.50 an hour was basically impossible. So the only way that you can pay the bills at that rate was to work 80 fucking hours a week. Well, guess what happens when you, like, literally my therapist told me if I worked 80 hours a week, I would die. Like, they're like, if you keep working at this rate, you're not going to make it to your 40. So I was like, well, maybe with enough exposure, enough promoting, and where I've come, in the community, with making friends and making bonds, that I can just be an artist who charges hourly. You know, which seemed impossible 6 years ago, but I have been in business for over 6.5 years, and so it seems like people are responding to it and are down for me to make a living wage. Yeah, killing time knows. Cat a couple's checking in. Yeah, iron-headed, dude. Like, literally, there was commissions I was making $1.50 an hour. Like, by the time you were like, this is how much I charge. In this 3 weeks, it took me to paint it. Shit. You know what I mean? Like, and then you get your commission check in, and then you write a rent check and a grocery bill, and then you don't have any more money. So, no. Like, that's human existence. It's insane that some people think that, like, that an hour of a human being's time is worth so little. All right. So like I said, we got this dwarf to the wash level. And anyone just tuning in who watched our 8-hour stream, we spent almost 8 hours getting these two guys to the same level. And I showed you with just focusing for about 3 hours today, I got about 9 guys almost to that wash level. And 1 guy here for you guys. So what I want to show you first is how good the GW Gloss game is. So we already talked about the GW Glosses a couple streams ago. So we're gonna try them out again. No oil. My ancient Chinese technique. I always turn it upside down and take a look if I see any pigments sticking to the bottom, and I shake it until I don't see pigment sticking to the bottom. And that's how you know it's good to go. And the problem about when you shake it real hard is you get a lot of bubbles in it. Bubbles have a way of drying into like a milky pattern you don't like. So I pour some of it out. And also that means that the pigment in here has a less likelihood to separate further, so I can stir it up with my paintbrush. So I got a little paintbrush right here. This is a Buster, just hanging out. Yeah, more monger. China, $2 an hour is good money. For real. You know, if they didn't keep raising the prices on literally everything every year in everything, and also simultaneously if our dollar didn't keep going down, it wouldn't be such a problem. But my dad made $9 an hour 30 years ago when he started this family and paid for a mortgage on $9 an hour. So it's like, well, shit's different, brah. My dad used to give me shit. It's like, oh, when are you going to move out of the house? Like, it's like, what's the problem? I don't understand. It's like, well, Dad, I make $9 an hour, and just in case you didn't realize. Sorry, I think I made $6 an hour, but like, still. Different world, man. Okay, so I'm gonna take this known oil, and this. Okay, real quick, this axe, I started painting it with Stormheart Silver. And then I painted this other axe with steel from Vallejo Air. Then I went back and repainted this axe because I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Stop using all metallics besides Vallejo Air metallics. They're just so much fucking better. Okay. So we're just going to get this wash built up and we're just going to start working it into this metal. Now, I did learn on the stream on Sunday that the gloss wash is fabulous, right? It finds all the nooks to crannies. It leaves a lot of the flat surfaces still the same color you wanted. But what we did learn is on the silver, it does a little bit less than on the gold. So I'm piling it on a little bit thicker than I normally would, while being careful to see where the drain point is, because you don't want to flip this guy up and then have all this black just drain into his hand. Because it is basically ruled by gravity. This gloss wash is good stuff. Same thing right here. And you're seeing, like, this is like insane what a good product we're getting out of just this one pass with a gloss wash. Like, it's brutally good. Like, I can't even, like, it's upsetting. Like, I've had to go so many years without it. So many years of like washing and then going back and just literally almost repainting the highlights all over it. You're like, why the fuck did I even wash this? Seems like I could have just started with a dark metal and just blended up to it I guess that's because some people just couldn't do blends at all. But and so I'm going to switch real quickly to a smaller brush.
Burninating the countryside. Burninating.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with this Trogdor gift.
Burninating all the people in the thatched roof cottages.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Trogdor. But he is just infecting the random algorithm. Oh, okay, I'm switching him to very rare. If he triggers again, I'm not going to make any promises on there. If it triggers again, I'll say I'm sorry. But I just switched him to the most rare priority. I do want to thank you, though, brother. I don't know if I've seen you come through. Yo, Disarray. This better get me a John Cena gift. Thanks for content, Kenny. Yo, thank you for the donation, my brother. Little do you know, I just use only one gift now, and I lie to you guys. Okay, so the reason I'm switching to the small brush now is because I'm going to drop some of this black wash on the handle inside of his hand right here. And it can get a little bit in his fingers. It's no big deal. I just don't want it to be outrageous, you know? Switch it up, flip it over. And this is like the controlled wash that I talk about. Like, you know, you got to come in and control it when you get into these tight areas. Now, his belt, his wrist guards or whatever, I painted him brown on this guy because I really like the way the known oil works on the brown. It really, when it dries up, it does have a real solid look of leather. And that's weird because normally I would try to use a brown wash on it, but because the gloss washes are just so much more subtle, the black wash just does a better job in my opinion. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. So we're getting some solid clean looks right here. I'm gonna show you real quick on the other one right here. I'm getting aggressive with the big brush, but they're instantaneously, see, because I was moving too quick, I just spilled some of my wash. Switch to the little brush and manipulate that wash to go exactly where I want. If you get lazy with your brush size when you're working with wash, it can be a problem. And always, as always, the next level painting system states, the manual says, always make sure you put a little wash where the thing you're washing meets the thing you're not washing to create a border. Like right there between his cuff and his wrist. I just drop a little bit more wash there to create that border. And we're getting a little bit of buildup right here in the pocket, and we're just going to pull it out. It's gone, you know? We don't want it to be so built up it's ridiculous. Make sure that the silver does catch that wash. We do want to build it up on the middle. So far, so good. Let's go back to the big brush. Let's see if I can do this at this focal range right here for you guys. Next week I'll have a scene that is this scene, but the camera is flipped upside down so it looks right side up for you guys. Every week I figure out a new thing, you know. So we're gonna right here on his cock robe with all his jewelry, we're just gonna hit it all black. Gonna let it ride kind of thick. Spin it around. Something like that. On his beard tassels. Like I said, put it on kind of thick on the steel, because it's just, like I said, it just drains real fast on steel. On his hand axe. I'm going to switch out to the little brush because it's going to get close to his bare skin here. Make sure the focus is right. It does take a little longer to dry the gloss wash, so you do have a little bit more time to manipulate. As you can see, pretty easy. This is where it's tricky. I'm going to show you. He's got runes all over his back. You want to come in real light and just put some of that black on there and just kind of move it around. And as soon as you get it on there, that's all you need. Just manipulate it into the cracks around it. You see, like, it just brought that rune out. Age of Sigmar campaign. So it's such a good wash, man. Like I said, I can't even believe this. They just came up with this. Like, I know you could have used your own gloss medium to mix your own washes, but like I ain't about that life. Robe on the back and his belt and all these little metal decorations. I'm gonna hit it with the black wash, using the bigger brush, making sure that we create a little border between it and his skin. Spin it over. Let's get his little key. Guess he's the key master. Right here. He's got more decorations just all around him. Switch back to the little brush. He's got, it's getting close to his thigh down here. So you want to just be more careful, and there's a rune right there too. This is kind of where we're at right here. Like, it's coming out clean right here, you know? Like I said, he's got all manner of decorations in there that are mainly just metals, which is so easy. Let's see if I can turn them to the side real quick. See, there's a rune right here. Just a drop of wash and then just drag it in. Like, this is 99% wash, guys. And a little airbrush, a little classy airbrush, and mostly wash. Let me get the bulk of, make sure to get all the black wash in place, and then I'll let him sit down for a second. So I'm switching back to the big brush, and we're gonna go to his dragon helm. We're going kind of thick. And the gold, it's a combination of molten bronze from P3 and new gold from Vallejo, or sorry, from Reaper. Just kind of 50-50, mix them together, and then painted it on. Gives you a good look. Sorry, I did most of that without you guys being able to see. Let me tweak the angle for you guys. Switch them around. God, his axes are just getting in the way for the camera. Okay, I'm gonna hold him right there in that pose. And real quick, I'm gonna let some black get into the plume on both sides. Make sure I get some on its face and his beard, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of mix it real quick with the flesh shade. Shake it up. See how much pigment's on the bottom? I'm gonna tell you. Shake it up hard, and I wanna just kind of continue to love right quick. So on the plume on the side, we're going to immediately just put this flesh wash in and let it mingle with the black that we just got on the wrong side of the metal. Just like that. This side too. That simple. And so you can see, you get a pretty good look right there. It's a little thick in some of these areas. That's why I'm moving it around. And you see how it's pulling up kind of darker at the base because with the combo. The same thing in his beard. I'll put a big.
His name is John C.
Oh. The Forgotten Legion. I think that's the first time donator. They pulled a John Cena gift, and all you longtime donators are trying to trigger. Forgotten Legion 30K. Actually, I work with these guys. We've been having a battle report in the making for a long time. These guys, I think they film out of Texas. These guys are huge in the 30K community out there. And I think they've been taking maybe a break from online content. They've been doing a lot of hangouts, I think. Yo, hit me up in the Q&A, Forgotten Legion. And I think we're supposed to do a podcast with you guys at some point. Refresh my memory on all that. And I thank you for the support, brother. Okay, let me show you where we're at real quick. Let me get the camera right. We're gonna take the zoom out so it's not blurry. Get them right up on this motherfucker, and let's get that focus right. So you can see, coming out pretty good, and it's just washed. You basically can set that down on the fucking table and be like, my army looks better than your army. You know what I'm saying? Like, the difference between this and the difference between that and this is like, let me get the focus right, guys. This is about 15 more minutes of dry brushing and then put them on a base that I already painted. You know what I'm saying? That is the fucking difference. This is what I'm always talking about, man. Like, bringing hobby back and shit like that. Here, let me jump back into the Q&A with you guys for a second while I let this gloss dry. And I spilled a bunch of wash on my workstation, so that's upsetting. Hold on. So I can't lay these guys on their backs. Alright, Q&A mode. Engage, let's try it. Love it, guys. So, here's what I'm talking about real quick. Is with bringing hobby back. Like, you got all these people out there, you know, everyone is like, in this community, there's something for everyone. Like pro painting, because obviously I'm a pro painter and I'm doing tutorials. We talk about pro painting a lot. A lot of people hit me up and they ask, hey, you got any advice for a pro painter? I don't want to step on your toes. You know, I ain't trying to compete with you. It's like, hey, man, that's not even what it's about. It's artwork. There's literally, it's the most subjective thing on earth. There's an art, like, I've met people who looked at my models and were like, I don't like them. And looked at other models that I didn't like and liked them. It doesn't matter. There is so much, like, love in this community, so many people interacting, that's why I'm trying to transition into instructional videos, because there's people out there in their own Beats lab, you know, painting on these models for hours and trying to get something as simple as this, which I say is simple, you know, painting, getting it all thick on the model, having no idea like what's happening. And I'm just like, yo, little wash, little dry brush, bro. You don't like, I don't own an airbrush. You don't even need an airbrush. Like, I have an airbrush because I'm mainly a commission painter. Like, and it just was obvious. I've been using airbrushes since I was a graphic designer, you know. But that's why we talk about like commission painting is 1 + 1 = 2. Like, this is beyond that. Like, I'm trying to like get more people on the tabletop and want the hobby to be more approachable to more individuals. And by showing you something that is simple for me, but not simple for somebody who just got started, that's how we do it. Because it's not about coveting a technique and keeping it all for yourself. You know, like, you got, like, sharing it, finding a digestible format to share it. And that's what I'm all about right now. Let me jump in this Q&A for you guys real quick, and just, because now I was just showing off the models. And I wish I could lay them over in the back, but I got a big pool of wash getting nasty over there. This guy might be able to skirt it. And you guys, let me see what's been going on. because you guys are cray. All right. Give me a second, letting that wash gloss dry. Oh, also real quick, don't get caught slipping on not washing your brushes right after using that gloss wash, because it'll dry hard as shit on your brushes. Also, real quick, let me know, is the stream coming through super blurry for you guys? I've been actually having some fucking internet problems with Time Warner out here. Like, waking up, internet's off, having to fucking troubleshoot, turn everything off multiple times, call somebody on the phone. Let me know, like, because if we're losing quality and it's noticeable from the last time we streamed, like, I'm going to be invoicing some fucking motherfuckers at Time Warner. Alright, I'm going back up to, Killing Time Painting says, wow, halfway to the new vid card. Yeah, dude, I'm super excited about being able to upgrade my video streaming. Ironheaded says, wrist guards equal van braces. Word, bracelets, got it. Ironheaded said that was revolutionary. Assume that you're talking about the wash game being so on point. Yep, that's the Forgotten Legion 30K. You can't post links up in here, but I'll put it down somewhere. These guys have a YouTube channel. They do some, they do a lot of like hangouts and stuff. These guys are clutch, man. They're trying to bring 30K back, and it is coming back. They're doing a great job. Still one more name checking in. Nobody ever runs out of known oil unless they spill it. Yo, true story. You know how many pots of known oil I've just straight spilled wholesale? Luckily, I've got 30 more in the case. Ironheaded, yeah, some moments of pixelation, Kenny. Nothing you can do in the volume hours in LA internet use. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't make sense. We're talking about Tuesday. I guess it's right after work on a Tuesday, but people are still stuck in fucking traffic for another hour and a half. It doesn't make any sense because, like, I'm getting, like, I think that, like, I just think my network is just, I just think Time Warner's fucking me because they have a stupid-ass monopoly out here and they can't keep up with the volume. Oh, yes. Steve 121. Yeah, let me show you real quick. The brush shampoo is clutch. So, brush shampoo right here. You can buy it anywhere online. Turn the light down because it's shiny and white, so it just reflects. So what I like to do is I have like a container. Like when I get close to finishing out a container of airbrush cleaner, a small one, what I do is I just use this as a quick little solvent to cleaning brushes off in real quick. And so I can get real debris off. You know what I mean? Make sure it's nice and clean. Rinse it off in my real water. And then I come in here, which I've already like liquided up this area, but like it's really easy to pour some water in the lid right here. And just clean your fucking brush up, man. And just swirl it around in there, spinning, you know? Get the excess off. And then I just gotta spin it to a point. And I just let it ride, you know, just like that. And I put it away and it stays conditioned. That simple. So like I said, I'm letting this gloss coat on this guy dry real quick. And that's the problem, is like it's hard to tell when it's dry because it dries shiny, so it always looks wet. But once it's dry, you kind of have to just mat it down before you keep working on it, which is kind of upsetting. You know? But you're seeing we're getting some real good love here. And here's a section right here, actually. I had to rebuild a little bit of his foot. And so what I did here was I kind of repainted it back in. Let me show you. It's kind of weird. It's not the best looking foot, and then it needs a little touching up. Right there. So this foot, like a bunch of wash drained down that I didn't catch when I was mass washing them all. It had pulled up there so bad. I went back in with the Barbarian Flesh from Army Painter. They sell you like their perfect match paints, and I cleaned it up, and so it needs to catch a little bit of wash again to look good. Oh, and I gotta turn it the right side up so the gravity puts the wash where it needs to be. On. Just like that. A little bit of wash in his foot. Clean it up. Now he looks good again. Meant to do that at this stage. While he's drying, let me show you guys something else. Because some of you guys might not be on Patreon and you guys don't know. And I'm not pressuring you to be on Patreon. I mean, support is support, man. Patreon is just a different type of support. It's reoccurring. You get access to all my studio battle reports early before anyone else. And we're out 4 weeks there right now. You know, we got 4 weeks of content already up there. So I did a whole video, which you can see up there right now. And it was painting these bases. And we painted them. I mean, I painted them in an afternoon. All of them at once. Oh, dwarf down. Knocked him over. And, oh, guess which dwarf it was, guys? The one I broke on the stream. Troop smash.
30 seconds in, hit him with an F5. Hit it back so hard he feel it in the next life. Pull him over that shoulder just like a knapsack.
So, anyway, that was my boy Justin Troop, one of my favorite people of all time. Thank you, my man. So, you guys on the stream, I've dropped this guy, and this guy is barely attached by an ankle. He broke on the stream. We put him back together with plastic glue. Of course, I just knocked him over, and he broke again. So, that's going to be fun. We've learned that plastic glue and super glue is not enough to hold him down, so I'm going to have to pin this guy back into place, and I'm going to have to fix all of it, and it's going to be a pain in the fucking ass, but that's the shit you deal with when you love miniatures. So like I was saying, here are the bases. And they look good, man. All realistic. And so basically, as I work on these guys, I just pluck them off and I pin them to one of these bases that I already finished. Throw a little bit of grass on them. That simple. We've even got one big-ass base for the Magna Dragon right here. And he's going to get pinned to this, and he's going to look like a baller. So I did all of this ahead of time just to take all this headache out. I mean, I've even got a whole drawer full of these bases that I was doing for them, doing for the Yu Jing already pre-painted. I got like 25 more of these already painted up, ready to go, just so I don't ever have to deal with this headache again. And also, there's not going to be inconsistency in the process. Let me jump into Q&A and see what you guys are saying. Because now I'm a little upset about that break, and I might fix it here on the stream. See what you guys recommend. Broken foot in the house. Okay. Ironheaded says plastic weld on plastic to plastic works. Tamiya ultra thin. I think that's what we were using, man. Ironheaded says I love playing the gravity game of washes with the alligator clips. Y'all never even thought about that, man. That's awesome. I'm gonna steal that. Yeah, Heath, I'm thinking I'm going to have to pin them back together. Yeah, Forgotten Legion. At least he didn't explode like resin. Like, oh my god. Resin is so bad at that. It pisses me off constantly. Hate it. All day. Ty Winning says, I've been on a Gorilla Super Glue kick. Y'all, Gorilla Glue is crazy, man. Yeah, Ironheaded, I'm definitely going to steal that shit, man. I'm going to make that shit work. I'm going to make it into a tutorial, and I'm going to say I invented it. Courageous Secret. You could super glue it, sandpaper around it once it's completely dry, and then paint the sanded area. Yeah, I mean, that's along the lines of what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to glue them back together, probably pin them. And the problem is when you pin something that's a weird jigsaw puzzle, it's not going to lock right in. And I might have to use putty just to seal it up. It's going to be annoying. Killing time painting. You don't put them down by the fan to dry the gloss wash. Sometimes I'll put them by a window, but you know, in my experience, sometimes when you have just wind blowing on a wash or even a seal coat, sometimes it forces it to dry faster on the surface than in the bottom, and then you get some weird cloudy effects. And so I ain't about that life anymore. I've had it happen to me enough times. Forgotten Legion, super glue. I don't use Instaset. It makes models brittle. The only place I use the Instaset is actually, and this is ancient Chinese tech right here, is see how they're on this base, and then I transfer them. I put a little bit of super glue and a little Instaset on these to make it brittle on purpose so I can just snap them off their bases later. Yo, Disarray. No, I believe you, but I don't believe it. I don't believe with Instaset it can do that. Yeah, Forgotten Legion says Instaset definitely probably causes cancer. No, you're probably right, homie. All right, let's change gears and let's think about how we're gonna fix Broken Foot. With let me get a new palette down. New piece of paper. Let's get down some of our tools. Old Broken Foot took an arrow in the knee and he doesn't adventure anymore. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is this X-Acto blade right here. It's not the sharpest X-Acto blade I have anymore. So I'm gonna put a sharper one in it real quick. Once I find where my X-Acto knives are sitting. Actually, I think I got a sharp one right here. Already ready to go. I've usually got two in circulation. One that's dull, so I can be more aggressive with it. One that's still like a razor. So, I'm definitely just going to go in here real quick. And, carefully peel some of this bullshit off. So I see that we got a little, it's a little rough in here where the plastic glue tried to do as to do. It's just so textured now. That actually might be good. It actually might hold to a glue pretty good now. But what I'm definitely thinking about doing is a pin job. And now here's where any pin job is hard because it's a jigsaw puzzle. Getting the aim right is just so hard, you know? But we're going to have to just take a chance. Ironhead, wait, what is this question? Okay, so I'm going to start with the actual dwarf. I'm going to put a glove on because I'm about to hold this dwarf in all sorts of ways I'm not comfortable with. And I'm going to pilot, I'm trying to like eyeball the straightness here. And so I'm going to pilot a little hole right here at this angle because I think this is the straight angle I want. Got a little hole going. I'll take my little drill bit right here. Just open it up a little bit. I'm not going to go balls deep, man. I'm not trying to... It's just a little light plastic model. You don't need to get too crazy. I'm opening up a tiny little hole here. Now what I'm going to try is I'm going to try an ancient technique and see if I can get it to work. I'll pull out a little orange. me see if I can find my detail brush. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna paint a little ring around this hole with the paint, and I'm gonna try to mount it up. Real thick. The idea here is I'm gonna put these two pieces back together as carefully as possible, and that it's gonna leave that ring in there. I'm gonna press them kind of tight, and it did. So it gave me a rough estimate of where the hole needs to be. Let me show you guys. There's a little orange in there, and like right in the center of that orange is probably where I should pin. And like that, like normally I don't have to get that crazy, but when like we're talking about, you got two weird angles. That's just sometimes what I do to figure it out. And I'm looking at the angle. I think I have the angle figured out. It's not straight in. And actually, just to be safe, I'm gonna put the pin in there right now. I have plenty of brass rod just always laying around. Gotta find my clippers real quick. And I'm gonna get a small ass piece ready to go. Just real tight, a little bit of glue. Not much. And I'm gonna put it right in here. I'm gonna grab my clippers and just secure it. I'm not gonna clip it, I'm just gonna push it in. And this is gonna help me eyeball the angle a little bit better. So that way I know how steep I need to go. And so I'm gonna clip it down just a little bit. So I can see better. I think I got something going on here. All right. Gonna pilot this hole. In between this orange paint that we outlined. And the angle's right in between. It's like a 45. And I know that, of course, I wasn't paying attention and I just blasted it straight through his foot. So, no matter what I do now, he's going to get some green stuff. Like, literally jacked him up pretty bad. That's always my major concern. So I'm gonna have to exercise all my hobby skills on this guy now. Put him back together. Now we're just hoping it seals up good enough that when I put him back together, you don't notice that he's a fucking mutant. That's just the name of the game sometimes. So we got it. We got him looking semi-decent right here. But unfortunately, we kind of blew out his leg on the other side. I'll show you. And so I'm just gonna have to come in there, use a little putty and fix that up and just paint it. I mean, it's just what's happening now. Basically, I might be able to tuck some of those pieces back in. But if this but let me put it this way. If while painting this model, which I'm trying to be as delicate as I can while painting them, I've broken them now 3 times, guess what's going to happen the first time my client takes this out and starts playing with the model? You know what I'm saying? So my number one concern always is like, I cannot have my clients have their nice new models that they paid money for just break the first time they use them. Like, that is like worst case scenario for me. So I've learned that this piece right here, it's been super glued, then it broke, then it's been plastic glued, and then it broke, and now it's been pinned. And now after it's done being pinned, it's going to be patched up with epoxy resin modeling putty, and it's going to be repainted to be as seamless as all my hobby skills can make it. And sand it down with a file. Like I said, you know, and then patch back up. And hopefully it never breaks again, you know? But it's got a little pin in there. It's got super glue in there. And now one of my tricks is, which I'm working on right now, is I have a little pile of super glue kind of piled up, and I have my Duller X-Acto knife, and I'm working it into the cracks right now. And I'm just manipulating it to find those cracks before I come in with the putty. So it's going to bond those cracks together real well. And then, of course, I'm going to come out with the putty and smooth it all out. It just sucks when this has happened post-painting. But, you know, we're all hobbyists. You know, this shit happens. Like, this is not the first time this has happened to me, and I'm sure this has happened to every single one of you guys. So, I'll show you his ankle close up. I've manipulated glue into that crack with the X-Acto blade, and into this Frankenstein mess on this side. I mean, it already feels, even though it looks like a hot mess of garbage, of Chinatown garbage right now, I'm confident that it's going to come out fine. It even feels stronger than it was before. So, okay, so that was kind of fun. Fix a mini disaster on air. I'm going to set him down, and we're going to spend a little time working on that dwarf we just worked on, and then I'll call it quits and get back to the commission train, because shit is getting real. Let me set him down real quick. I'll talk to you guys for a few minutes first. Showing them off. All right. Q&A. Killing Time says I used the lead for mechanical pencil rather than paint. What? What did I miss? Hey, Martin says he always uses paper clips. The reason I use what I use is because Privateer Press makes a real handy set that comes with a drill bit, comes with a drill, comes with 3 spares and a shitload of brass rods that all just match each other. It's a real affordable set. That's the only reason I use it. Yeah, and even Ironhead said it. He uses the same one. Absent says, yeah, that's happened once or more than once. With little Necron ankles. Paint it like a scar. Iron-headed. What a great idea. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use some of that blood for the blood god. I might actually do that. Troops Matt says the stupid assassin chick snapped the ankle 4 times. Yo, you ain't lying, dude. My chaos sorcerers, every time I pull them out of case, they break. Wolf Sark says, are these your dwarves, Kenny? No, these are for Optimus Stein, my commissioner. He's the same guy that I'm working on the Yu Jing for right now. He put a pin in it. He said, hey, Age of Sigmar this summer, I want to play in it. Can you get this army done in 10 days, 10 or 15 days? I was like, yeah, we can. Let's do it. The Cheesy Poofs. Hey, Monsieur Boucher, bringing the hobby back works. After watching your streams, I decided to purchase paint materials and the game again after 15 years out. Thanks, man, for what you're doing. Y'all appreciate it, brother. That story makes me happy. It's basically why I do this. Yo, Disarray. What alternative model do you use for zombies? Mantic makes some pretty sick kits. Heresy Miniatures makes some sick kits. I think even Puppets War makes some baller kits. Ironheaded. Truly, Kenny, the gloss washer giving more contrast pop on the camera than the old methods. I think you're saving time, too. I agree, bro. Killing time. To mark the point on the drill, a pencil lead. That's a great idea. Thanks, brother. I'm gonna steal that too. Wolf Sark. I want to use secret weapon resin bases for my Juggalord, but they don't make the new GW size oval base. They do. I mean, they make several. Like, first off, these are biker cavalry bases right here. And I think he makes more than one size. This is like 60 millimeters by 40 millimeters. I do think they have a bigger size than this in the scrapyard base. It's got 23 of these. Maybe they don't make it in your set though. Justin doesn't have them for everything just yet. Iron-headed, blood for the blood god, red on the new Pale Jump red. You know, I'm thinking about that, dude. I'm really thinking about using your idea right there. Throw a heart for that. All right. For the Bonefield set. Oh yeah, the Bonefield set. I don't think it doesn't get a lot of play these days, so you might not have anything set up for it yet. Okay. Back to task, brothers. Okay. Let's move these beasts off the camera. Just inspecting this Frankenstein ankle. A Martin asked what juice I'm using. Actually, I smoke, talking about my e-juice. I smoke all tobacco flavors. This is called Route 66 by a company called Kind Juice. They organically cold press all their ingredients, and it's PG free. So it's like, it tastes super fresh, dude. I love it. Actually, the only one I've ever smoked that tastes like tobacco, and it's also doesn't have that PG chemical flavor, so it's my jam. I really smoked a lot of cigar and pipe, so this has really been huge. Okay, let's see what I can do with this Frankenstein foot. I mean, it definitely needs a little putty before I do anything. Like, you can't just say, hey, this Frankenstein foot is a Frankenstein foot. You gotta smooth it out a little bit first. So I am gonna use some actual straight up green stuff. John Bingham. Yeah, I did. I used the Barbarian Flesh primer. Right here. I did. It's dope. Wolf Sark says, also I have Fantasy Chaos Wolfhounds and Fleshhounds. Do you think they look better in full? They're a little small. So what I did for my army was I put 2 on each base. The Wolfhounds, the Chaos Hounds, I put 2 a base. So it kind of represents their 2 wounds. And they look like a pack when they're all together. But yeah, I think they look great on the 50mm base if you do it that way. Grab a little bit of this green stuff. That's obviously way too much. I'm not going to use it all. I'm going to cut the center out because it's usually unusable. Going to take this glove off because it's impossible to work with green stuff. Well, it's like that. And I'm just going to get about that much blue. And I'm going to pair that with yellow that obviously dropped it on the floor and it bounced into another fucking reality. So, classic drop the shit on the floor, the beat slap trick. Commander Kino from Tasmania. Yo, bro. Thanks, man. Oh, the Forgotten Legion. Like, Liberty, dude, trust me, bro. I've tried every tobacco flavor from countries.
His name is John C.
Hey, Martin, you finally did it, brother. You triggered the new John Cena Rang remix. I've been waiting for that forever. Okay. So I've got this little piece of green stuff ready to go. Let me turn the light down a little bit. And I had one of my sculpting tools laying around here. And I was like, why do I have this out? And I put it somewhere because I was like, man, I ain't going to use this. And of course, instantaneously, while on stream, I'm like, well, fucking guess I'm using it. This isn't the tool that I prefer, but I'm going to use it anyway. And I'm just going to scrape some of the bullshit off the tip. Cena for the win. We got the remix. Naka's nose. Okay. I'll get a little skinny piece of green stuff ready to go. I'm going to go over to his Frankenstein side of his body. I'm going to peel a little off right here. Thinning it out. And I'm just going to lay it there, and I'm just going to start pushing it into the cracks. And I use a lot of spit for this technique. And I'm just sealing up those cracks, while keeping it as thin as possible, blending it in. I would show you guys close up, but there's no way I could do this precision while holding it under the camera. I need to be braced on the desk. So I'll show you stages though. What I did here, is I manipulated it into the big crack that's running down his body, the bottom of his foot, which is actually part of the natural seam around the ball of his ankle. So that's where I'm blending it right there. Show you guys some detail. And now I'm gonna manipulate some in this Frankenstein rip across the top. Probably got way too much out right here. So I'm just gonna lightly push it in that hole. And then I'm just gonna like get rid of it. There's a little bit more hole. Let's keep pushing it. And now I'm just gonna, rather than get rid of it, I'm just gonna smooth it into the other piece of green stuff. And just gently push on it. Most of that liquid you see on camera is my spit. And I'm just blending it into the actual model until it's so thin that it's like however thin you think you should blend it a little bit thinner. Show you what I've done here. Oh, let me that big Frankenstein crack, like I said, getting sealed up. There's a little bit on the front of his foot still. Always lightly push it in at first. First you gotta always lightly push it in the hole. Test the waters. A. Martin says, who knew that your commissions came with some freehand DNA? That's the spit. Okay, we're going to push it up like under the front part of his ankle. And this is a seam that was just created by our pinning. This was not us breaking through. This is tricky. Not the easiest. It's hard to get in there. Smooth it out, but I got it. Pushing it up in that crack, and that Frankenstein crack. What a good name of a sex tape. Frankenstein crack. Okay, so I think I've got most of it on lock. And I'm going to let it dry just a little bit to tackiness. And then I'll smooth out a little bit more. But right now it's still in its like wet stage, you know. And then I'll come back in and just color match it, because like I was saying is Army Painter gives you the perfect color matches. This is designed to match their primer. So I'll come back in with this Barbarian Flesh, tighten it all up, and just blend it back in by hand. That simple. So let me recap real quick what we've done today. First, we started with a whole bunch of dwarves that looked like this. They were Barbarian Flesh. They're washed with the new gloss washes, a little bit of airbrushing highlights. Then we started painting their details, just real quick. like that. And then once we got one blocked in, we threw all the gloss washes on them. And this is how it came out. I mean, that shit is good. Skin looks good. Runes look good. Axes look good. And then, you know, with just a few more minutes of dry brushing, it looked like this. That's simple. I wish it was always that easy. Infinity models, let me put it, are not this easy. I'll go back to the Q&A real quick, guys. All right. I'm going to do a few minutes of Q&A, then I'll boost out of here. Not going to be able to do a 2-hour stream today, or, I mean, I might go a little over, but I'm literally putting in 10, 12-hour days right now on top of everything. I got to get this, I mean, I'm going to Colorado, so I'll let you guys know. Going to Colorado on like the 1st or the 2nd. I'm going to be up there for 4th of July. Probably not going to come back until like the 10th or 11th. So we're not going to stream 4th of July week. Sorry. I really wish I could. Not going to have a tutorial out. The Long War's not going to have a battle report out. We're not going to have a podcast. We're taking the week off. We haven't taken a week off since Christmas, so we feel like we've earned it. It's been 6 months since our last break from content. I was going to bring my shit up there and stream from my lady's parents' house, but she was like, that ain't happening. Hey, Martin says, yo, dog, have you tried the Citadel liquid green stuff? Yeah, it sucks balls. It's not good at all. Basically, the Vallejo makes a putty that is amazing, though. Like, if I had some laying around, I would have been using the Vallejo putty. Forgotten Legion, Infinity models, AK slivers of metal. You ain't lying, man. Iron-headed, having this little conversation with A. Martin. You guys, no crosstalk. Teasing. You guys waited for me to answer questions. You guys be it forever. Dedicate a Tasmanian dwarf to Commander. Kino, dude. Awesome. Heath asked, did you put grass on the base on the stream? I didn't, but it's easy. I usually wait till the models are on the base because that way I can use the grass to cover up spots. I'll show you guys. Like, I won't put the grass on the base, but what we're looking at here is you can see that these tufts of grass, I shaved them down and I placed them classy, kind of where the model terrain feature meets this terrain feature at the seams of those spots to kind of cover those up. On this guy's base, Broken Foot's kind of the same thing back here. And I used a different style on the big spot. And all I did was take these tufts of grass right here, and I just took my scissors and just kind of cut them to the shape I wanted, man. It's so easy. And I'll always use Elmer's glue. I just pay for the brand. It's just better. Always go with the expensive Elmer's glue, not the. This one is like for kids. It washes off. Don't use that shit. It's not good. Hey, Martin. Talking about the color match from the Army Painter. Any tips on matching Vallejo airbrush colors? Having a hard time matching them. The Vallejo, you know, I don't have a lot of experience with that. I just try to use the same colors all the time. Like I just have like a good library of colors, and those are the colors I use. Heath asked what kind of color. Those are not GW tufts. Those are actually Gamer's Grass. Different company. They're really good. GW tufts of grass are good too. These are on point with GW tufts of grass. And then Army Painter makes tufts of grass too, but I think they're a little weaker. I like Gamer's Grass and GW the most. Let me shout out some of my supporters today. Where we at? Saudak donated just as he came in to say hi to everybody. Thank you, Saudak. Yo, Dizere. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. The Forgotten Legion came in fresh. He didn't leave a clever message, but maybe next time. Justin Troop, AK Troop Smash, AK Largest Biceps in 40K, came in with the love. And A. Martin, of course, always love for his favorite heretic. A. Martin, I'm having a hard time doing touch-ups using air paints. Some air paints are a little too thin. Depending on some of the Vallejo ones don't paintbrush very well. The metallics happen to paintbrush perfectly. Militaire is the same way. No militaire paintbrush is very good. The Forgotten Legion said I learned about Gamer's Grass from you, from Kings. Yeah, Kings Hobbies and Games. Check him out online. The guy's got sick deals. His web store is all about like only shit he uses. So it's only good stuff. And that he sent me a bunch of Gamer's Grass and I love him. Like I said, basically all I've got on my desk right now is a bunch of, you know what, I will show you before we leave. I'll show you how easy Vallejo game metal paintbrush is on real quick. Because it's just so superior. Okay. So I'm using Vallejo Air Steel. Just gonna pour a little out of my vast paint palette, aka my desk. I'm gonna grab this brush right here. I'm gonna pour a little water out randomly on my desk somewhere. And I'll show you, A. Martin. This just paints so like one coat, like just so good. One paint stroke, man, you know, like one direction. It's incredible the coverage you get with this. And we're not piling it all thick or nothing either. But some of their higher pigment colors, like their reds and everything, they do struggle to paintbrush on. They also have their game air line. They have their model air and their game color series air. And the game airs, I think, are a little bit more paintbrushable. They're designed after their original line, their game color. And so here's an ancient Chinese technique. You see like this network, this lattice network inside the brush, inside there. What I do is I just take it and I blow it. And it opens up some of those holes in there. Because it's just little bubbles were being formed in the connection piece. That's simple. I'll set him down real quick. Alfarius, oh, you're tuning in so late, homie. Alfarius, at least I'll show you what we did today before we get out of here. I showed everyone, and you'll be able to catch this up later. We watched this guy. We basically took this guy from a level like this where we painted all the details in real rapid fire, and we just used some of the new GW gloss washes to achieve this effect.
His name is John C.
Alfarius, how did you miss this? And you got a John Cena gift with the remix. I've got another 2 John Cena gifts in there with totally new remixes. I'm sorry, brother. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Patreon. But like what I'm saying is, this guy, the difference between these 2 models, 15 minutes of dry brushing. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's crazy, right? Like, we didn't do shit. I painted 10 guys today, to just like the step before this guy's wash, and I'm gonna have them all done tonight. Like, I'm literally gonna have 10 dwarves done tonight. By the time we're done here, I'll finish out the show with a little Q&A, and once you guys are cashed out on that, I'm gonna get to step and get these 10 dwarves done, because I only got, you know, like I said, 10 more days to knock these guys out. Alfarius, I'm a patron, so I get to see it. Fuck YouTube. Patreon for the win. Yeah, it'll be on Patreon. It will be no ads. It'll be up on Patreon after it's up on YouTube, just because Vimeo takes longer to process, and then I embed it from Vimeo to Patreon, so it remains ad-free forever for you guys. So that's where we talk about patrons get to see it, like a forever ad-free experience. Private links, like, you know. But no doubt, guys, I want to say thanks to all my supporters, all my donators, all my patrons. Hey, if you just listen to the podcast, thanks. We're doing our best out there, man. We got over 500 followers on Twitch. Didn't even realize it during the 8-hour stream on Sunday. That was amazing. You guys have been making this work for me. You guys make it possible to do what I do. And I promise, like my promise to you guys, is I'll continue to do what I do, man. I will continue to bring as much quality, as much shine to the process as I can, interact with you guys, answer as many questions as I can. I promise that I'm never going to replace the studio tutorials with the live streams. They're going to both remain independent of each other. The live stream is for a very specific reason. I'm not going to fake content by subbing my studio thought process with these. You get a different level of interaction here, but you don't get the same quality of just perfect camera angles to show off what I'm doing. Like I said, I have a full top to bottom tutorial on how to paint that dwarf in Patreon right now. It is 4 weeks early, so only the $20 patrons can see it. But for $6 patrons, they get to see it 2 weeks early. And then it'll be on YouTube, way behind in a month. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like, I'm showing you the entire picture. Throughout my week, I've carefully light and film an entire process to show you guys what I'm doing in that world. I'm never going to stop. I'm going to keep doing more streams per week. I'm going to do 2-3 streams a week. I'm going to try to keep ramping it up here. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Enjoy the Q&As. You guys make it worth it, man. Ty Winning says he's going to attempt the pre-shade red technique on his Storm Talon. Yo, for real, man. I can't wait to see what you do. Post it on Facebook for me. Wade J347, hey man, yo, you just tuned in at the end. I'm sorry. You'll be able to catch up on this on Patreon and on YouTube. Still one more name. Is there a Long War battle report in the Hall of Veterans this week? I'll tell you right now. There should be, and it should not be. It'll be one you've just seen on Patreon though. Today's Tuesday, right? Yes. The Hall of Veterans is updated with the new battle report. It's the Guerrilla West Coast battle report that I filmed here, guerrilla style, my first game in Hollywood. So if you've seen it on Patreon, you've seen it on Hall of Veterans. My Patreon page, you get access to the battle report that I edit every week and produce. You get access to our webcast and to our after hours battle report. After hours podcast. But you get all my tutorials and my live streams ad free. The Hall of Veterans, you don't get any of those, but you also do get all the tactic videos and all the unboxing videos. So there's a whole other category of things. But if you're more on the painting hobby side, my Patreon page will keep you satisfied because I also throw that one battle report in there. Wade says, no problem. First time tuned in, trying to see the stream live. Yo, man. We'll do another one on Saturday. You'll be able to see more. Still one more name says, my internet mental schedule must be off. Iron-headed. Cockpit. Like cocktail. Yep. Cock robes, dog. Everyone's got them in 41st millennium. Alright. Oh, wait. Kappa to Wood. Yo, dog, I have been binge watching your shows on YouTube. I have learned more in the last 2 weeks of trial and error with the Airbrush. In the last 2 weeks than 2 years. Thanks, man. He says, always keep the tip clean. Yo, words to live your life by. Well, anyway, guys, we're about to jump out of here. As usual, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning into the live Twitch, which will be broadcast again on YouTube and on Patreon. Your support matters. Obviously, I am in the West Coast now, so the time difference is a little weird. We will all adapt and we will all grow together. Thank you guys. Play on, players. Audi 5000.